Okay, so now I have all the daily challenges, which is much better than yesterday.
He's not really good at Discord.
Oh, that's. Oh, here we go.
Oh.
Hello there.
Hi.
Hello there.
Greetings.
So I'm. Did you replicate your our results, Bogi, from yesterday?
I wasn't trying today anything, so
Okay.
we can try right now. You can stream like.
Okay, I will. Give me a second.
I cannot exactly stream because my PC is not capable of doing that. Interaction just deafened himself. What the fuck?
XD.
Oh my god.
I guess he is testing stuff.
That was pro gamer move.
Give me a second, okay? I will start stream soon, but. Oh my god. Hi. Anyway. So here is our game, and okay, let's try doing what we did yesterday. That's. Oh my god, what am I doing? Daily challenge. Let's take hard. Let's go.
Oh, it's better now. Okay, so we could like, because the interaction said that it might be dependent on our gear slots. So
Okay, bullet spray. That is the hard one. We didn't test anything with the UFO chickens and UFO chicks. So
yeah, there were no dynamically spawning enemies, so that should not be a problem.
Yeah, but
okay. I'll dismount all the satellites and hard points I have, in case that's causing issues. Okay, so let's go to like easy daily challenge because there should be the least amount of UFOs and stuff. I will dismount everything and mount 3 lives at the top.
Okay, I didn't dismount anything. I'm going with a normal setup, but I think we should get the same results. The problem is that we get this wave, that's a limited time wave, so it might be harder to see what's going on.
Okay, make sure to mount SSH.
Yeah, I have SSH always.
Okay,
so.
SSH. My loadout is basically just empty, and the top 3 units have extra lives. Okay, so I'm on the. I have plasma mounted. If that matters. Ah, fuck! I actually mounted one of the bird flus. Okay, I'm good. Do you have any satellites mounted?
I have two micro guns. I can remove them if you want. But
I removed everything. Okay, it's bullet spray.
Yeah, it's bullet spray.
Okay, so I'm just killing one by one. Okay, so I got Photon Storm gifts.
Okay.
I'm basically killing them in order.
Let's see. This isn't the best way to show the problem because it would be nice if we had ultimate square dancing or something. Because here you pretty much always kill things in the same order. Pretty much.
It doesn't have to mean exactly like that, but we can try some other dailies, I guess.
Yeah, or the weekly, like yesterday we did.
Okay, I think last time. Okay, the only gift I got is Photon Storm. Yeah, I didn't get the second. I didn't get the second drop. Did the same happen to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll cancel and try to kill them on a weirder way, basically. Like, let some and then kill everything at once, not in the order and stuff, and see if there's anything different. Did interaction just disconnect? What the fuck?
Okay.
Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay, so I'll try
I will see what wave is first on intermediate challenge, but it's probably the same thing as here.
Okay, now I got the plasma gift. Yeah, I got a plasma gift now.
Okay, so what did you do?
I'm not exactly sure. I was killing them in a bit different order, but I didn't miss anything.
Okay, so I will. Let's see.
But yeah. Okay, I restarted the mission by the ways of canceling the mission. I'm not sure if that should matter. I did not shoot before the wave started because I've seen that problem as well.
Okay.
So make sure not to do that. Just shoot once the enemies have spawned.
Okay. Let's do that. So.
Anyone here?
Wait, is it working?
I don't. What are you asking about? What
No,
is working?
somebody just said something. Was it interaction?
I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, I'm trying to get my mic to work. Is anyone?
Yeah, it's working.
it's
Damn,
working.
Oh, it is.
Nice.
Sorry, it was a kind of permissions issue. It's working now.
Okay, nice.
There should be no permission issues considering that you're literally highest role in the server.
Well, easy though. But I don't know. Like.
But yeah, so I played only 2 times and I immediately got 2 different results. It's
Okay.
Easy day, wave 1. One time I got photons. The second time I got plasma gifts.
Okay, I get photon every time, but once I got 2 photons. I don't know what's going on anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, as interaction said, make sure not to shoot before the wave starts.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, sorry about that. That's a bug, and it's already been fixed, but it won't
Okay.
be out until version 51. So be careful not to shoot while the mission is starting up.
I think we should go for the weekly challenge and see one of those waves that don't have time limit, so we can kill them in different order and show what's the problem. Because
Why do weekly? I mean, because we can restart and stuff.
yeah.
Okay, I'll mount a few more lives just in case.
Okay.
Okay, I have the first 2 rows filled with extra lives and obviously an SSH. But remember that weekly challenge, we've been having almost similar results.
Yeah, but it was the same type of wave like this one. So
okay, we got
time.
There's due to backstroke.
Let's see.
So I'll just AoE everything. I got a firepower, and I got a born railgun.
Hours, and it's going to be for the next hour. I might have to disconnect abruptly if I need to take care of any other business, and I'll rejoin at some point later on. Don't worry.
Okay.
Go away.
Are there? Do you want us to try something specific? And do you have any ideas what might cause this thing? Like.
Sorry, was that for me?
Yes.
What was the question?
Are we supposed to do you want us to try something specific? Like, do you have any ideas what could cause a trouble? Like, what could we test?
I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you referring to the game itself or what I just spoke about? Just now?
This particular bug, like, do you have any idea of why are the drops not the same?
Okay, yeah, it's been fixed already, as I said. Now, if you're doing any tests, do not shoot or the wave actually starts, so that will bring you in the same, bring you up to speed, synchronize you to all the other players, so you all get the same drops. There is the issue that some drops are disabled because you're hitting maximum drops per wave. I mean, the enemies are still carrying the same gifts, they're still carrying the same atoms, but some of them will not actually drop because you've already made the maximum number appear.
Yeah, we understand that. It's when the atomic gifts can only be dropped as the first thing and not the second one, and that's mostly causing the issues when if we killed the gift chicken first, the drops are different. And even if one time one player gets the atomic and the other one does not, it's pretty much a problem because obviously there's a difference of 19 firepower versus 20 firepower, and max power and 100k points.
Okay, well, as I said on the forum, this can be partially fixed. We can have separate limits for gifts and atoms, which means the atom will not block. Sorry, collected gift will not block a subsequent atom. However, it's still going to have problems in cases where 3 different enemies are set to drop gifts, but only 2 of them can spawn at the maximum, which means the 2 first you kill will drop, the 3rd one will not. That I don't see an easy way of fixing this, but at the same time, I don't think it's such a big issue when it comes to comparing performance for challenges, competitive missions.
It might be, because if you miss the atomic power up, you might end up with 19 firepower at the end of the mission, and then you are so much behind you don't have any chance to win this.
Okay, but I'm talking about, we can separate gifts and atomics separately, which means an atomic will not, collected gift will not block the atomic, which is what's currently happening now, because the limit for gifts is 2, the limit of atomics is 1, but they all both count in the same bucket together. So once you collect 1 gift, that counts as a power-up that blocks the atomic. The atomic will not spawn. We can keep separate buckets for gifts and atomics, which means you will still get the same drops. However, in certain cases where the randomizer has determined more, for example, let's say the limit is 1 atom per wave, but 2 of the enemies have been selected to drop atoms. So you can only get 1 of those drops.
Yeah, that's
which one you kill
that makes
first,
sense.
it'll drop,
Yeah,
but
that's
you can still miss 1 of those because it's not possible for it to spawn under the current rules of the wave.
Yeah, so your solution is to remove those rules so the order will not interfere with the drops, right? But you're saying the issue is if we have like 3 or more chickens that are going to drop, we will miss at least 1. So why not limit the drops per wave to 2? Like the chickens that can contain a firepower could be limited to 2.
Each enemy decides on the drops independently. There's no coordination. There's no main point of reference. So I don't know what totals are spawned. Each enemy says, do I need to spawn something? I have a maybe 2% probability of spawning. It is quite possible for the 2 enemies or more to decide that they will drop gifts. It's theoretically possible that half the enemies in a given wave, 10 or 20 enemies, will decide to drop gifts. Statistically, that's possible. I'm not actually keeping totals anywhere, so I can't decide this or block this in advance. With power-ups, with atoms, they're all the same. They're all the same drop, so it doesn't make any difference. But with gifts, you might get different types of gifts. So depending on which you kill first, you get that particular gift. So maybe it's 2 ions and 1 neutron, and you can only choose 2 out of the 3. You might get the atom, so you might get the ion and the neutron, or you might get the 2 ions, depending on which order you kill the enemies. This is going to be very difficult to fix. What I can fix is atoms interfering with gifts. You're not blocking. You're always going to get the atoms no matter what. And you're always going to get the gifts, but not necessarily the same types of gifts. If you kill the enemies in a different order, the drops will be... There's still going to be the same drop, the same type of gift per enemy, but you're killing a different enemy. Is that understood?
Yes,
I feel I'm not explaining this properly.
So in a nutshell, you're always getting the atomic power up, but the type of gift you get may vary depending on the order you kill enemies in. So basically, the weapons.
It depends on which enemy you kill. If you always kill the same enemy, you'll always get the same type of gift.
Yeah, that's what we discovered.
Yeah, we did try that, and we were getting constantly the same results if we killed the exact same way.
Okay.
Even right now, I'm testing like the weekly challenge. I've got so far 3 different results just by spamming plasma. So that means a normal player will not know if he's playing for the first time, and obviously you're only going to play one time for the daily challenge, you can't know which enemy is going to drop gifts in which way. So it's kind of hard to tell. And also, it gives an advantage if you, for example, use an alternate account to play a daily in advance, so you will know what the drops are compared to the other.
But that's always gonna be an exploit. Play.
Yeah. So can we like? Is it possible to make the enemies like show what they're going to drop? Like,
Might have a little icon on them that says, "When you kill me, I'm going to drop this."
Yeah, something like this. Maybe glow, just a glow, that would be good enough.
No, not really. Well, not currently, because when you kill the enemy, then the random number generator runs and decides whether to drop something or not. So it doesn't know in advance. I could pre-calculate it in advance, fine, but this whole business of because you have to show whether it's an atom or it's a gift, and then if it's a gift, you also have to show which type of gift it is, and there's no limit to. And I think it's a good path to go down. The same thing with previous, very recent suggestion on the forums that you need to be able to tell which enemy is going to give you the next pecking order, which is it's just over-analyzing the game. It's just putting too much information that should not be part of
maybe. Okay.
Exposing too many of the mechanics. I mean, it's becoming an optimization race, and that's not really what the game is about.
Yeah, so that's not really an option, but there was on this Discord server, there was an idea about some very easy solution, maybe not the prettiest solution, but instead of enemies just dropping things in wave, the whole drops are disabled, and after completing the wave, everyone gets the same things, just from like charity, something like this.
Okay.
Yeah, that was also an option.
Yeah, but why would someone who only manages to kill half the enemies get the same drop as someone who manages to kill all the enemies in the wave?
Well, they are behind on points anyway. I mean, they're not going to win if they miss the enemies.
It doesn't sound like.
Also, it's punishing the player for dying and for picking up a bad weapon, which is. It's kind of like the trash compactor. If you don't have a strong enough weapon, you're just going to get thrashed. Which is...
Let me think about this. I'm still unclear about why. I mean, how much do you want? Should you want things to be completely repeatable and completely?
So. In a nutshell, so if 4 people play the same wave and kill everything, they get the same rewards, exactly the same. That's like the goal.
This is what's happening now, with only one exception. The only exception is if the game has decided to spawn more gifts than possible, and maybe, but you're only going to get the first 2 of the 3 or 4 or 5 gifts that are in store, then it does depend which order you kill the enemies in. But since no one knows in advance what's going to drop, I think it's a reasonable concession. It's a reasonable disadvantage. How should I describe this?
It might be if alternate accounts weren't a thing, but in such scenario, people are going to make alternate accounts just to test what are the possible drops and how to get the best ones. So they get
it very quickly becomes combinatorial, because you have to test the first wave, and then you have to test the second wave, and then the third and fourth with separate accounts, because every time you test one, you need to reset it to test the next one. So it's not going to be very practically feasible for someone who even for someone who wants to.
But that depends, like how much time someone wants to spend on exploiting the game. Because when we are testing the coin drops, win challenges by coin drops, me and GGW were like, hour and a half just playing easy daily and farming the coin drops, and it worked. And like we totally dominated this challenge. So
correct. But that was before coin drops were fixed, right?
yeah, right. I'm not talking. It's a problem. Just like people are willing to spend a lot of time to exploit the game with how they can.
That's why we're actually trying to nail down the randomizer. But I think that we've already plugged 99% of the cases where this would be an issue, and there's always going to be people who are, will be willing to spend entire days just testing every different scenario out, or even cheating. Who said that every cheater gets caught? But you need to draw a line when it comes to effort, and most importantly, restricting the game in order to avoid these cases. So maybe you want 100% repeatability for everyone, but then if that requires too much effort and if that makes the whole experience less enjoyable, because you don't get much of a creative leeway in what you're always playing the same mission the same way, which is actually a problem now. Even for now, I've received some comments about fine for the random number generator to be fixed for challenges, but they don't want it to be fixed for.
Yeah, that was the point. Like we shouldn't mess with RNG for normal missions because.
Well, currently there's only one RNG, and if I change the RNG, everything changes. So currently, even if you play a regular mission on some planet somewhere, and that mission is always going to drop the same thing. So if you make it a favorite and it drops a laser on the first wave, then it's always going to drop a laser, which actually detracts from the experience from replayability.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. That's if this is here to stay, you need to find a way to make it only on challenges.
Well, I have to make the change and make it. But I'm saying that these things are, adding more and more complexity, and obviously making the drops the same.
Yeah, it had to happen eventually. It's also yeah, it's very nicely done considering food and coins. So kudos for that. I really like it.
It was a very creative change. I didn't think it would be possible, but I just came up with a way in the last minute. I'm actually very proud of even managing that far. So
yeah, great job. The game really is on a good road if we continue like that. But yeah, people have been asking about endgame content. Like, are there any plans on what could a max level player do? People have been suggesting things like raids, like where we would raid a final boss of one of the episodes, like the All Star or the Enterprise. Like you could find them somewhere in the galaxy, and then you group up with your squadron or a bunch of random people, and then raid the thing. And if you manage to kill a, for example, 100 million health boss in a certain amount of time, the people would get the rewards and stuff. It'll be
how
a nice.
would the raid? Would each person run their own raid independently, and then would sum up?
Yes, the independently so far, like until we get actual multiplayer, if that's even going to be a thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, One Wing Lunarian wants you. Interaction Studios wants you to check VC Now Mike channel because they are talking about some things and want you to see this.
Yeah, I was about to mention that.
Anyway, so
sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
Some users want you to check VC Now Mike text channel.
Right.
Yes. Okay, so in the next update, we're going to like for the daily challenges, it's going to be like free from the atomic and gift limits. Like we could get, actually, could we get 2 atomics per wave then? Oh, this pen disconnected. Wow.
Oh, I just got reconnected. Okay. What about the daily challenges you were saying?
is the like removing the limit for drops going to be implemented in the next update?
Yeah, I can do I can do what I explained. I can make atoms and gifts separate. Not removing the limits. There's still gonna be a maximum.
Yeah, that.
Hey, what if we
separating
actually
it.
remove the limit? Like, it's going to fix it. Like, of course, we are going to get much more power-ups than we would get on normal missions, but the whole RNG aspect would be gone. If you kill all enemies, you get everything.
That would balance things a lot. The thing is,
Yeah, that's actually very good.
The power-ups depend on a percentage of the enemies. Some waves have less enemies than others. Maybe a wave has 5 times the number of enemies, which means on average it's gonna drop 5 times the firepower. That's why I was limiting the maximum number. But I don't know in advance. Even the game doesn't know in advance how many enemies will eventually spawn.
But we know. But if we allowed the game to spawn like 5 power-ups, like only on challenges, so this limit will be removed, the whole problem would be gone, because if everyone gets those five power-ups, then the whole thing is like
no limits for competitive missions. That's what you.
and that's it, and it fixes problem.
Also, that would like in almost every mission we would get max power every time. If we're going to drops.
So it doesn't matter if you are like one firepower ahead because you had the right weapon at the right time or something. That should work.
Yeah. Also that like we have 14 weapons in the game right now, and we have 20 waves. And a lot of the time, I've been like playing daily challenge. I see wave 13. My firepower is like 10. I've been getting terrible RNG and stuff. Like I've been seeing almost no drops. And if we make that change, and in those 20 waves, it'll like make a lot more probability on having all the weapons be dropped at least once in those 20 waves. So it like encourages weapon diversity.
It does, but there's also atoms dropping, which I just give you more and more power.
So maybe only one atom per wave.
I can certainly try it for the next version 51. We can remove the limits and we can fix all the RNG issues, and then you can play around with it and tell me if it's excessive drops. Mm-hmm. One of the things I want to do in 51, someone I think it was Galba, wasn't it, that you suggested it? We need to disable skills challenges. Yeah. Do you remember this correctly? Was it you?
Yeah, it was me. Right.
I completely forgot, but I saw my list now, and that's gonna go on the next update as well. So no more skills. But I was thinking maybe if we remove skills, we need easy, medium, hard, and a 4th difficulty level, which is going to be the whole mission, 100%. So in order to, because we're actually, by removing skills, we're making everything a little bit easier for people who want the extra challenge. Maybe introduce a fourth variation, easy, medium, hard, and impossible, say something like that. Doesn't matter.
That's perfect.
Not going to actually be impossible, or extreme. Maybe extreme would be better.
Oh, okay. That doesn't sound too bad. Okay, or you can try have easy, medium, hard, and just make them their base difficulty harder. So
okay,
so
yes.
Like you had equipped superstar hero on default. That's what I'm saying.
We can do that, but I was thinking the difficulties now are 1 to 33% for easy, 33 to 66 for medium, and 66 to 99 for hard. However,
no bottom text.
If you want the entire, even the hard one starts at 66. If you want to start at 99, so you play the whole mission at the end of the difficulty, then you would need to partition it. It would have to be easy, 0 to 50%. Medium would be 50 to 100%, which means it starts at 50, ends at 100, and hard be 100% all throughout. So you start on 100 and end 100. That could be a partitioning. We can try it in the next version. It's
adding one more would mean like we would have to add one more metal type.
Oh god, yeah, I don't want. Yeah, okay, forgot about that. It's not gonna be an easy. It's not gonna be an easy thing to add a fourth one because everything geared up for easy, medium, hard. With that respect, it's easier to just readjust the difficulties of the existing three. So yeah, we'll start with that, and if we see that it's not working out, we'll see about adding a fourth. But it's much easier to just.
What about weekly? What are there going to be any adjustments to the weekly challenge, or are we just going to play the entire thing on rookie?
There's no skills, right? So you'll start. Yeah, you'll be playing at rookie.
Okay, so actually 0% instead of 40 at the beginning.
0 to 100 instead of 40 to 140. Yes.
Yes. So.
Can't you make the game think that everyone playing weekly challenge has superstar hero equipped or something like this? So you don't change the difficulty, just tell the game it's superstar hero no matter what.
But there's so many people playing this that don't actually and are not good enough for superstar hero. It's gonna make it too hard for them.
Yeah, 100 waves already by itself is pretty large. People have been like talking about a weekly rework for a while.
I'm not telling you to make weekly as hard as it is now. I'm just talking about the concept. So you just give it the modifier on default. So and I'm talking about this. I mean, I think weekly should be nerfed. It is pretty long and tedious. So, but yeah.
I really like the fact that it's long and stuff, but people have been telling. What I really like was when someone proposed a change that once every like 20 waves or so the background changes and something like that,
Yeah, I remember.
Or some like, or like in one of the 30 waves and stuff, so we get a stage of meteors or stage of.
Yeah, I proposed that long ago.
Yeah, mixing in different mission types, obviously banning swap block because of the movements.
Yeah, and that will be one more cool thing about this, because right now, being skilled at like combat chase doesn't give you anything really, because the only thing that's semi-competitive is the classic invasion style of weekly challenge. So having meteors and other mission types in the weekly challenge will be pretty fun.
You're saying
that's good, but we might want to like nerf Comet Chase, because if you don't pick up Vulcan at that exact time, considering that you don't know it's going to be Comet Chase, you're pretty much dead.
Yeah. Oh boy, Comet Chase.
What about just shortening to begin with? Shorten 100 waves to 70 for the week.
I do like the 100 thing.
Well, I like it too, but I wouldn't be too sad to see it go. Like, it's not mandatory. Like, it can be shorter. That's for sure. But
okay, like.
We have to figure out what difficulty we should give it if the difficulty modifiers are gone. Because right now, obviously, everyone plays it on Superstar Hero because it's the only one that gives you a chance to get to the top 10. But if you are going to make it only one difficulty for everyone, we have to like figure out how difficult it should be, easier or not, or as hard as it used to be.
Well, even if the maximum is 100%, maybe it will be easier for you to play. I mean, for you, when I say for you, I mean for the expert players who are used to SSH. It's just going to be a lot easier than someone who's always playing on rookie. So 100% is the hardest they've ever seen in the game, because that's how high a rookie goes. It doesn't go any higher. But that's not a problem, because score is score. It's just maybe at the top of the list, maybe scores bunch up a bit more because you're cropping the top end of the skill. So if anyone who would be able to complete it at 100 or above would complete it now. Because you can't add 40% to it. You cannot add SSH anymore. So that would cause the top players to bunch up more in terms of score. I mean, more people would be able to have a shot at making the top 10 or top 100 or whatever.
I don't know what to think
I
about
don't
this.
think I don't think it's a good idea to start at 40% and end at 140% because that needs to be a choice the player must make. Yeah. For the weekly, everyone's invited. Maybe some of them will complete it. Maybe some will be too hard, but it needs to start at 1, then go to the maximum. Could go to 140, yes, but that would make it, I think, prohibitively difficult for most people to even complete, which means they won't even try. It's better if it's easier, so more people can complete it, and then you compete on score. Everyone completes it, but you compete on score. That's fine.
Yeah, I like that. Considering that we have 100 waves, at the end it's going to be 100%, which is still hard enough. So there was also one thing. I suggested that surrendering has no penalty on weekly challenges because of how long they are. So casual players would feel a bit better if they don't have exactly an hour and a half to complete the entire thing.
So surrendering wouldn't have what kind of penalty? Score
I mean,
penalty at the end?
yes, score penalty, and I'm not sure about unoriginality penalty. Like allowing that many replays.
Originality is only 12 hours now, so which means you can play it
Oh,
maybe twice a day
right. Uh-huh.
at full score.
Yeah, so that shouldn't be a
So
problem.
maybe 14 times maximum per week.
It's because it's the only replayable mission you can, like, besides Space Race, that you can play, like, at any point. It's like talking about if you don't have, like, fuel and you're stuck in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So it feels a lot less awkward to just not play the entire thing, considering that you're pretty much out of resources at that point, and you won't have that many lives.
Okay, but what you're playing the mission for is keys, and keys do not depend on whether you surrender or lose or win. You get the same keys regardless. You don't get the same score, but you don't care about score because you're not playing for score at that stage.
Well, if a player basically runs out of resources, if a player is capable of running out of resources, that means they're not as developed, and score is developing towards more tier, and tier gives you key rewards, which basically gets you out of the situation.
I think when you're out of keys, if you're expecting tier to save you, you're approaching this wrong.
Yeah, that's not the highest priority. I think it's like, well,
you can collect keys much easier just by exploring or running easy missions than if you expect to change the tier so you get a little bonus because the tier is gone up. Not the right strategy if you're very poor in your keys.
Nah, that makes sense. But I just thought of it as like a ticket out. But okay.
So anyway, your suggestion is no score penalty for surrendering weekly. But I don't think on first approach, I don't think it's worth the exception, because then you're not giving the player a unified set of rules. You're saying, well, if you surrender a mission, you're gonna get less points unless the weekly, in which case it doesn't matter. It gets confusing. Not a lot of people.
Okay. Yeah, it's not really a priority right now. Can you tell us what is the priority right now? Is it like weapons?
Weapons, and we need to finish weapons. And then there's two things. There's the user experience, which means tutorial, which means first missions. I have some ideas about that with regards to how many missions the first time player is allowed to play. Right now they're actually only gated by tier, but I was thinking maybe having a dedicated simulator thing going in the Heroes Academy where a user could freely play a set of missions regardless. So that gives a new player choices in which means to out with, because they don't have actually that many choices, and it's I've seen starting players, I've observed players playing the game for the first time, and it's really stuff that we take for granted, like how you travel from planet to planet and how you select which missions you want to play. They're not really intuitive for them. So maybe they'll have a wider access to larger variety of missions from the get-go. So maybe, for example, maybe we don't have a tier requirement for beginners. And as they play, it sort of fades out. The beginner status fades out, and then all the tiers come in. And that's only for the first 2 or 3 hours of gameplay. It's not something like any of you would probably notice. And the other thing is the economy, because right now I haven't even looked at the economy, what's overpriced. I definitely know that the weapons need buff in price, because that's a permanent upgrade and you start every single mission with a better weapon. So they're very cheap, but also the entire economy needs to be looked at and see what.
I think the bomber economy needs some work. Like heavy bombers are so big and so slow that to use them you need very expensive items such as Eagle repulsor or whatever it's called, the hitbox, one that makes hitbox smaller, and maneuvering jets, and are pretty expensive. So playing bomber is really inefficient, like at all, unless you're playing a weekly challenge. So you are not wasting those resources on 30-40 ways, but on 100 ways.
Right. Okay. I see.
In general, like bombers might need a buff in general, because there are complaints that, for example, BX9 is so big that it can. Its big hitbox is bigger than its sprite, and it's so. It's not really fun when you crash on it and things like this. So bombers need work in this.
Also, if you're in a bomber, basically seeing the name palpitating rate or wormhole is instant death, if not multiple deaths, considering how big that thing is and it's how hard it is to dodge stuff. Like people have been complaining about the Gatling roulette. You can complete it in a fighter really, like, it's not easy obviously, but there's a pattern, and the pattern is almost impossible for a BX9 to complete with.
Which way was that?
It was
chicken roulette with chick Gatling guns.
Oh right, yeah, of course. But on the other hand, isn't there a post on the forum, right, even today, saying that the bomber is overpowered with 2 weapons on top? So it's not meant to be an all-purpose thing. It's meant to be a playing style thing. I want more firepower, but I'm sacrificing speed and maneuverability. And yes, I will get caught up in some waves that I have to use some special weapon to get out of. Right? But I'm also getting a lot more, damage out.
Yes, I'd say that's the reason why the prices with bombers and millers are similar, right?
Sorry, come again.
I would say that is the reason why the prices are so similar between the bombers and the millers.
Are they? I don't remember.
So we're comparing Mila for 408 is 3,500.
Okay.
And the BX9 Mila is 3,200. So like 300 keys difference.
Okay.
It's
okay.
like nearly the same.
So do you think they want to be more expensive or less expensive?
Well, I'm not sure. In this game, when I was starting out, I would basically think the more expensive thing is better. Like looking at the heat sinks and engines and stuff, and obviously that's right. Like the most expensive thing is the best. So people would go for Miller M48, while it's literally almost no reason to play it over 44.
Well, the only reason to use it is to have 2 engines instead of 1.
Yes, I mean, you're paying a larger hitbox to get another engine, which is why.
Yeah. I said that I think that engines could be just a customization thing, just like other things like, I don't know, cockpit and things. So we would choose to have 1, 2, or 3 engines. So like, but that's besides the point. But yeah, M408 is pretty much worse version of the M404.
Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe we need to look at that then. Either when it comes to prices, or maybe make it cheaper, or maybe give it a little bit of a boost in stats or something else to make it worth the extra amount of money you have to pay.
Yeah, there was also a thing making each model have the different perks, like Cannoncock 101 would have something, then 201 would have a different thing, and so on. Like each model compared to like having from each manufacturer, from each role.
Yeah, but that would attract attention. Everyone would be using same. For example, the 8C 101 that has the key boost. Everyone who wants to collect keys needs to use that ship because it provides an advantage. We say, for example, oh, this particular ship overheats 10% slower, even with the same equipment as the other ones, for example, then everyone would talk to that particular. The only reason the 101 had a key boost is because it's a starting ship. It doesn't have many slots, so the assumption is that you're limited by the number of satellites you can mount. And besides, it's going to help first-time players collect keys a little bit faster so they can buy something else. That's why you see this key boost slowly fades away, never appears in any other ship. That's what the original reasoning behind this boost was, to help first-time players that naturally have a handicap because of the low capacity in terms of slots and in terms of satellites.
Also,
and hard points, but currently hard points are cosmetic, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, that's pretty understandable, but yeah, so the players would use Hancock 101 and then immediately jump to Meta 408, or basically just jump either to that or to Bomber. Obviously, Bomber being the wrong choice for beginners. But the thing is, they will never use 201 and 301. Mostly a 201 because it has 0 benefits whatsoever. 301 at least has 1 more satellite, but comparing the key boost is almost insignificant. It only matters for key rushes, and even that has been nerfed. So can we like make Cannoncock, like, in Darkness missions, when everything appears below the black layer, and if you're in a Cannoncock, make the keys like visible over the darkness, because it says features glow in the dark keyholes.
Yeah.
That's meant to be the keyhole that you enter the cockpit from, not the. Yeah,
it is, but glow in the dark is funny, and that's it.
Yeah, we could. I think we could. Could we? I don't know. Hang on.
Anyway, I think that we can make those less popular ships more, let's say, less useless by giving each of them different satellites to hitbox ratio. So you have you have like choice between 3 satellites and this hitbox, or 4 satellites and slightly bigger hitbox, or something like this, or satellite behind or in front of spacecraft, so you can place barbecue there to just destroy projectiles or something. So to give each of them something distinct, because right now there are cases, like Bogi said, where literally one spacecraft is just worse version of the other one. So
okay. Let me have a look at 301, 301. I think target.
Can we make Darkness missions actually scary?
Scary? Yeah, I can turn the lights off completely. That's gonna make it scary.
Also, we can turn off the music completely, especially in like in electric planets, so you can only hear the thunder from time to time. Remember that?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I tried that once. It was actually enjoyable. Like, remember that wave in Plants vs Zombies in like 410, I think. It's like you can't see anything until the thunder strikes, and then you can see that for everything for a second, and that's it. And
okay.
there's no music. You can only hear the rain and the thunder, and it's actually creepy. And then you just randomly hear the Yeti sounds and stuff. It's a very well designed bait.
I'm
And
making a note of this.
like I can tell from the people who thought of Yeti was Oranja and Cookie, I think, who thought of Darkness, and they pretty much said that it's really not that much what they expected. Cookie suggested like having a chicken that, when killed, it reveals the entire screen, and something like that. Just having a kind of darker theme, and not just a circle that expands a lot.
Yeah.
I really like
Last
I really
version.
like the turning off the music thing for Darkness.
Okay. Yeah, I've made a note about
Also,
that.
also making it always electric.
Darkness, no, no. It's a separate type of mission that can be combined with heat or electricity.
Yes. Okay. Sure.
But I've made a note. I would normally find it very confusing, but since I implemented disallowed equipment, which means if you mount the music in a Darkness mission, we're gonna get the stop sign on top of it saying it's gonna be ignored, and I think that's not gonna be confusing for the user. Because if we just disabled music for the Darkness missions without showing it in the UI, we would get
bug reports. Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, that should be the case.
Yeah, maybe like if then just don't play Darkness missions, Lemeo.
I'll find maybe no music, but I'll see if I can find maybe a track that has a little bit of eerie sounds, like maybe just wind blowing or eerie, spooky sounds. Just play that in a loop. We'll see.
Yeah, the problem with that is you can't really get those sounds in open space. Yeah, wind from C5's Ice Chapter.
Just imagine being a new player. You select music, and the game tells you, no, you can't play music in this mission. It's like, yeah, oh god, I'm going on war now. Yeah, that might be cool.
One thing that's scheduled to go in the next version is actually, the Excel, the data that I sent in the forum.
Yeah.
About all the weapons.
I didn't check that myself since I'm not that much of a data guy. And
I think GGW checked it and found some mistakes. I don't know what exactly, because
I haven't checked the overheat values because I just can't be bothered to. I only found one error, and that's that the volleys for Moron Railgun on Power 6 and above are actually incorrect. They actually
for which weapon?
Moron.
Moron, okay.
Yeah, it says that it has 1 weak projectile and 4 strong ones.
GGVV told Interaction that he's a moron. Can you banish him?
Oh, oof.
A moron doesn't really matter. I've added it at the very end. You can tell.
Yeah. I mean, it's just an error in the spreadsheet, so it doesn't matter whatsoever.
It's not in the code. But what I was thinking was
bug metal.
Okay, so.
Oh yes, of course. It says 1 times, but not 0 times. I deleted the 1 times, but that doesn't make it 0. It just makes it 1 again.
Yeah.
You don't multiply it with 1. It's still 1. Anyway, fine. Thanks, Al. No, but what I wanted to say is this Excel in the next version, there's going to be support for putting it beside the game executables, and the game will actually start up and load the values from there instead of having them hard-coded game, which means you're able to have your own Excel and change the values as you see fit. Maybe run some experiments, see certain values.
That's actually fantastic.
Whoa, yeah. Kind of like a sandbox mode?
Yes. Exactly. The server
Well,
will kick you
finally.
out at the end of the mission. It won't allow you to save any results, obviously, but you'll still be able to come back with some suggestions and say, well, I tried double the damage and it was fine, or, you know, I half the firing rate and it was better, and we can make changes officially, you know, based on your experiments.
Okay.
Wow, that's
So I've
amazing.
been
I'd love to see
making
that.
I've been making some changes to the spreadsheet, and I was going to post them after testing positron once it actually gets its new damage values. But in that case, that's great because I mean I will be able to actually test this.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think it's worth to talk about the overdrive. It's one more thing. That's,
Yeah,
yes.
that was one of the main topics.
Yeah, and the
Galba is going
correct
to take the lead here because I'm really not the data guy, so go on.
So, well, overdrive is like right now it's not really what it is supposed to be, right? Because right now it's just manual fire, but
Yes.
but with the same hit per shot. So that's the main difference.
Yes.
But when we are going to make this like so you push a button or spam click to turn on the overdrive, and your
Yes.
weapon shoots faster and overheats faster accordingly. So it might need something like a cooldown, because there is if there is no cooldown, there's like no reason to not to use it. Like, look, I can stream now to show what I mean. So I have neutron gun equipped. So, well, I can shoot like this, but like, why? When I could do that, something like this. That's just better, because overdrive isn't a trade-off. It's not like
Wait, hang
something
on, Galba.
for
Are you
something.
sharing some? Are you streaming video now? Because I can't see anything. Well,
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
streaming.
You see the list of people in the voice chat, and you see Galbatrix on the top. It says
Yes.
live. You hover the live thing, and you press the watch stream.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see that option. It's in the browser. Maybe it's not supported.
Oh.
I don't have the app installed. I'm in the browser now.
Okay, so I will describe it. So,
Okay.
what overdrive would essentially do would give you, would make your weapon shoot faster with the same hit per shot, right? So your gun overheats faster because it shoots faster.
Yes.
But that's just a straight buff. Like it has no downsides. So you just increase DPS and don't change anything else. So what would happen if it doesn't have cooldown? Everyone will be constantly on overdrive.
But hang on. The point is you're overheating faster, and if you look at the comments in the forum, half the people are complaining that they overheat too fast. So it's not like you don't have any downsides. You're firing faster, but you have to spend more time cooling down. I do agree that having heat, what's it called? I don't even remember. The ones that stop you from overheating, coolant canisters.
Coolant canisters.
Obviously, we need some rework, because you might load up a lot of canisters, and then that would give you an advantage. But right now, look at it over a span of 1 minute, you can cause the exact amount of damage if you use overdrive as if you don't use overdrive.
Yeah, but your DPS is higher, so you can make better use of this.
Yes, exactly, but that's a matter of skill, because you need to be stopping firing. You mustn't fire indiscriminately. You need to be focusing your fire exactly when it's needed, and then stopping when the firepower would go to waste. It's a matter of playing the game with more skill. You're not spamming fire everywhere. You're just deciding, when the right opportunities are, and then you get that small boost for a small amount of time, and then you have to let it cool down. Now, excluding coolant canisters, I'm excluding them because they need.
I don't think anyone, at least in our like veteran community, I don't know about the new players, right? But here on challenges, I can't imagine not having overdrive off anytime. So there's like no reason not to have it on all the time. So I think at least a cooldown. So like you cannot do this all the time, and it also addresses the fact that coolant canisters can be abused. So you can't overdrive the whole mission. You can like overdrive for 10 seconds, and then you have to wait another 10 seconds without it, or something like this.
Yes. Okay, that's a better idea.
Yeah,
Better idea.
having your spacecraft gear actually matter is very
Yeah.
good.
Reactor power, for example, reactor really doesn't have any impact right now, and if we make better reactors, give you like 1 or 2 seconds more of the overdrive,
Okay.
then it might be a very good thing in general.
Okay, hang on, making a note.
Yeah, actually, like, has there been any plans of making mass or maneuverability, something like that, affect bomber speed or basically anything of that sort?
Mass affects. What does it affect? Oh, you mean
Mass?
the more stuff you mount, the slower you go?
Yes.
The same.
So we can actually balance something and make use of the cheaper gear in the store. Currently, mass does nothing. Yeah.
I remember that in the past, all spacecraft were like bombers, right? So they didn't move immediately.
Yes.
Right, but it was removed because of backlash. Am I right? I wasn't present back there. Okay, so now I think it might work if we like. If it's done properly, it might work, but I don't know if that it's probably
I'll
would cause
tell you-
backlash again.
I'll tell you what the problem is. The problem is at the very high end, where you have to decide: do I want to follow the spaceship instantly, which is what's happening now? Forget about bombers for a minute. Say you have a spaceship that follows the mouse instantly. As soon as you load it up with a little bit more heavy equipment, you need to slow down its movement. Now, it's impossible to determine exactly how much slower it's going to go because mouse movement is instantaneous and it's different for different people. Some people are very fast and precise with the mouse and they go across the screen in a split second. Others take their time. So if you try to limit it, for one type of person and one type of player, the other player is not going to see any difference, for example, because they're naturally moving slower than their human reflexes are slower than this. For people who are playing very rapidly, it suddenly becomes a problem because they're saying there's a very slight lag in my spaceship. It doesn't follow my mouse precisely. It's not enough like in bombers where it's obvious that the bomber is much slower and whatever you do, it's going to be lagging. But there's a very fine point after which this looks like a bug. Looks like it's not following your mouse fast enough.
So that isn't really an option, but
It would be an option. It would be an option if everything, as it was at the beginning, everything didn't actually move instantaneously, but it has a specific speed. As fast as it was, maybe there's a specific speed, a maximum speed. Then you can tweak with that. But right now, this specific speed is infinite, and it's the math.
I was talking about what if the old speed, not instantaneous speed, came back. But I am afraid that his portion of community won't like it. So
yeah, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that. But maybe if we set the speed high enough, not bombers where it's obvious. Maybe it's like 2 times or 3 times the bomber speed. Maybe it wouldn't be as a backlash.
Maybe we could experiment with this just to see. Like how fast, how slow, and it could help with the different spaceships.
Yeah, isn't there a thing where you can like, if you're in window mode, if you move your mouse out of the playing screen and then move on another side, the spacecraft will teleport?
Hello?
I didn't know that. Oh my god!
It will teleport, but it will actually will not go through any enemies. So the game will detect you're moving too fast, and it will actually subsample your trajectory, and you will hit any bullets. You won't teleport now.
Okay. What's up?
That's sad.
Wow.
You know what? I want you Ucho on the 5th Ucho when it happened. The 5th Ucho.
Huh?
Yuko.
Yes. What about
Uko? UCO, the unidentified chicken object, the 5th one. When would we happen?
The fifth, there's only 4 of them.
Yeah, we
I
need
would
the
do-
unfortunate new encounter. Do
I
it
want
now.
the fifth one.
What, the one with 2 of them?
I want the fifth one. But what we been the fifth one? I want the number 5.
Oh, you want the 5th one? Okay.
Yeah, the number 5.
How
That's
about a
gonna-
crab? We have only 3 crabs. Actually,
I think
there
that's
are
enough
4, including the
crabs.
VG.
Yeah,
Oh.
I think
maybe.
we should make the fifth one, the number 5 of the Ucho. We should make that.
When make-
Anyway, what were we talking about?
Overdrive.
Yeah, overdrive and
we can
the
try make
spaceship speed.
ships slower, but that's gonna be a separate update on its own. It won't be mixed up with weapons changes.
Yeah. Well, let's don't do everything at once.
I've made a note. We can try that again. And hopefully we'll feel. I feel like I don't want to introduce too many RPG elements in the thing. It changes the nature of the game, and some people who love the game because it's so arcade and you don't have to worry about what you mount or what you. That's why all these RPG mechanics that you see there, which is the power generated, the power used, and the weight are there. But I never implemented them. I never took advantage of them because they complicate a little bit more than
Can
I
I
would
have a
like.
question? When was the time we will get the multiplayer mod on this CIU? I want
Multiplayer.
the multiplayer, man. At least 2 players.
We've
Go on,
discussed
say
this
the
in
famous line.
several
Wait.
instances. Multiplayer is not easy, and it will have to be done a second stage once the game is running, and if the game proves to be successful enough, then we can look at multiplayer. It has many difficult challenges which are different than the multiplayer from previous episodes, so it's not something I can do
Yeah.
within at least a year.
Aren't you afraid that this game will have very big trouble being successful without the multiplayer? Like it's like this whole Chicken Invaders universe, and many people might be very disappointed when they understand that there is no multiplayer here. That might be
That's
a problem.
understandable, but on the other hand, I cannot spend another 6 months developing this without actually
Yeah.
looking at it, whether it's worth it. Because it's looking at other episodes, if not multiplayer has never been one of the main selling points. You see the servers on Interaction Studios website itself of empty almost all the time. I don't know what's happening with Steam. Steam, I think, is a bit better, but still, there's not more than 10 games going on at any one time. Very low. Make
Oh well, it's gonna be a long day.
to make
Okay, are we going to get mobile before multiplayer or after that?
before definitely. For mobile comes first.
Mobile. Oh no.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
it's
pretty
sad, but
pumped. Also, that the spacecraft does not follow instantly. And, like having speed would help mobile players
Yeah.
compete with people on like mouse.
Exactly. That's another thing that's worth to note, because to be honest,
Yeah, overdrive in your first concept of like tapping a bit faster will always shoot like much faster than like more than you click. It also helps a lot for mobile players. It pretty much has to be implemented if we want it to be consistent.
yeah, you know what the big problem with that mechanic is? The big problem is that you cannot stop. Normally, when you put your finger down or you click and you hold the button down, a game starts firing. As soon as you release your finger or the button, game stops firing. Now, if you want to use something like tapping to go for overdrive, then you cannot stop firing just because you've lifted your finger, because you might be on your way of clicking again. So the player is lifting the finger. The game needs to give him maybe a quarter of a second, maybe more, maybe 300 milliseconds time during which it needs to keep firing before it decides, oh no, I need to stop now, because that was actually the player actually intended to stop firing, and it's not just clicking again. Because when you're clicking, there are periods when you pressed, not pressed, pressed, not pressed, pressed, not pressed. That's the
Yeah,
problem I
If
have.
you
that's understandable, but we can like, you know how before launching a game for the first time, some games like give you an option to set up to calibrate some stuff like your display and then the haptic feedback and stuff, and
Yeah.
then we at that point you can set up your delay for clicking for overdrive.
Yeah.
Also, you could like tap a few times and then hold the thing to keep overdriving.
Yeah, that is what I thought. So you tap a few times, overdrive kicks in, and then you hold to fire.
Okay.
Just fires faster.
What if you're already firing?
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem, and I don't know how. It could be like another button, but I don't know how crowded mobile screen would be because.
Yeah, that's exactly why I'd rather avoid having extra controls. Even on the mouse, things are very crowded.
Because
Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask about the mouse is I can't like put some controls on my other mouse clicks, like on the clicks besides the left click and the right click. Like I have two more on my mouse, but I can't assign them to anything. Is it possible to make them like shoot a rocket or something like that?
I think the engine supports up to 5 mouse buttons. Give me 1 sec.
Okay. So far, I've been using left click for shooting, the right click for like satellites, and the scroll click for rockets.
Okay,
So like that.
it does support up to 5 buttons.
That's a default setting, but like I wanted to use the side mouse buttons. That's it.
What do you want the side buttons to do, though?
Well, to shoot a rocket or to do something.
You know what? How about use the button Alt to shot rockets? The button Alt.
Yeah, Alt would work, but I'm talking about the side mouse buttons. Okay, that aside,
And let me
I
run the
think
game.
it's better to use the Alt to shot the rockets.
Anyway, I wanted to talk about one more thing about mobile. So, how are going to the satellites? How are they going to work on mobile? Are they
the same way they've been working so far? There needs to be. I think they're tied in the same fire button, so you can't fire them independently. It just assumes that if you're firing, then the fire button.
So basically, satellite auto fire is enabled, right? Yes.
Yes.
So what about, because satellite auto fire is really bad thing. Like you don't want this when you play this game in the gameplay. So what if you have two buttons on the screen? One is for weapon, one is for weapon and satellites.
Okay, yeah, but that's when it comes time to do the mobile, we can change the UI. It's necessary. I just think that mobile players are not really that sophisticated, but they don't need a lot of controls. You need to simplify the UI.
Yeah, mobile players by default are casual, but we can have almost any mobile game has a control mapping option where you can
simplify it in advanced, of course. But yeah, I'm looking at the mouse controls now, and you can select between left, right, middle, thumb 1 and thumb 2. That's already in the game. Did you try thumb 1 and thumb 2? Whether those work for you?
I'm in controls.
Controls mouse.
So, that was not in the game. I don't remember.
For a while now.
Okay, thumb 1 click, thumb 2 click. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, check those. See if any of those work.
Okay, thumb 1 click is for. Okay.
I don't know which one's thumb 1 and thumb 2, but just experiment.
Okay, satellites thumb 1.
Guys, I need to be going now. We can chat again at some other point, but I need to leave for today.
Okay.
Crap, I don't have satellites mounted. Okay, yeah, that was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The next version is going to have some significant changes and fixes. It's not going to take too long. I think by Friday it's going to be out. And
Yeah,
then,
okay. But by Friday already, that's pretty fast.
yeah, it's not going to have many new features, but I want to change a little bit of those mechanics, fix some weapons. Maybe not. I'm just saying. I'm just predicting that it's not going to take as long, and it's not going to be as big as this one.
Yeah,
Mainly
it's
fi-
working.
mainly fixes and quality of life.
It's working. It's good. I legit did not know that was a thing.
It's not in the previous engines, but it's been put in the CIU engine at least several months now. I don't remember when, but it's been there for months.
I didn't see that in change.
Right?
I didn't see that in the changelog ever. That's the thing.
Ah,
Okay. Okay. Are we getting? Also, yeah. One more thing. Is there any reason why the anniversary mission is not competitive?
you mean there's no rewards?
No, it has no punishments.
Oh, it's
to
no
end
marked
session.
as competitive. Well, it's not really competitive because there's only one, doesn't change, and once you play it, only your last. It's only competitive in the sense that you can play it, and your name will appear in the top 100 list. Not necessary for you to play the exact same mission as everyone else because you can play it many times, and over time you'll probably get a good RNG and get some better results. But because it's only a single mission, it's always the same. If you even restrict the RNG, you're just not gonna make it boring. Because always on the third wave, the ion will drop. Always on the 10th wave, the Cohen shot.
Yeah, besides that, I think there are no key rewards for this leaderboard in the.
Yeah, there are no key rewards.
Yeah, so like.
It's only for for bragging rights. That's why there's a single. The other ones are the leaderboards refresh every week. This one is just one single leaderboard all time, no rewards.
I'm gonna brag about being the most abusive of end sessions.
Oh, hang on. Wait, no. We can. Whoa. We can disqualify missions that have end sessions and without.
Can I speak for a minute?
Without actually nailing down the RNG. Okay, I'll have a look at that too. Note. Anniversary. Disqualify.
Okay, RCB wants to say something apparently.
You're gonna say something.
Yeah, you say it. Say it.
Oh, let RCB speak.
Yeah, that's not RCB, but okay.
Anyway, guys, I have to go now.
Okay.
Talk to you soon.
Alright, then see ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Have a nice day.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay.
Did he just muted? He did not like.
There we go.
That was better than I expected.
That went well. Actually.
Yeah, like
Dude,
what?
I'm really hyped for that sandbox mode. Holy shit!
Yeah,
Like,
so am I.
Sufi
Like-
was really
This is-
wanted something like this.
This is
like-
basically what we wanted.
Yeah,
And we're getting it.
yeah. Like what the hell?
But what are we going to get? What are we going to get? Because I joined half conversation and I probably missed important stuff.
It wasn't themed at all. We were mostly.
I
we
was
mostly wanted
recording
to, like,
almost the whole conversation.
Yeah, epic. We wanted mostly to like me and Galba wanted to stream him like trying to replicate